Good morning. Welcome back to another beautiful, sunshiny day on the Internet Dad Show. Please join us Monday through Friday here on rumble.com/internetdads or youtube.com/@internetdads. I'm going to move the camera over here because I'm standing behind the sign. And I'm Jason. That's Deke. We don't know where Dave is. He does this. It's funny to kind of say that because I think of the three of us, maybe Dave is the least likely to flake.
In real life. I think I don't know this for sure, but I think Dave is James Bond.
You think he's James Bond?
I would never say that to him because of course he's going to deny it. He's never going to admit it, right? You're never going to admit that you're James Bond.
Okay. So when trying to deduce this, you have to rule out confession immediately. That's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
He's always going to say no. He's like one of those doors in Labyrinth. He's
never going to tell the truth. He's never going to tell a lie.
So you got to rule that out. You can't use that to figure it out if it's true or not. Which means that even while he denies it, it's still it's like Schrodinger's cat. Like we don't know.
You don't know
for sure.
Yeah, that's funny. I will make a confession. I consider myself fairly intelligent. 50 years being on this earth, I consider myself fairly intelligent, more intelligent than the average person. But that in the Labyrinth always confused the hell out of me. That was one of those mental puzzles that even though it's explained to me, I can never figure it out. It just doesn't click with me. I'm like, I still don't know. A complete guess. She was a 50-50 guess.
I mean, honestly, it is mind-blowing how smart that I think it's Jennifer Jason Leigh. So her character in that movie, she's 16 in that movie. She starts off the movie.
And that was she was.
It doesn't matter. Stop.
Acting.
No. She's part of an amazing, legendary movie that you couldn't even probably make today. Okay.
Right.
So give her some credit. You may not. And let me say this. You might not like a 16-year-old girl running around the park reading Shakespeare in some sort of a like weird medieval dress or whatever, but she was part of the secret ingredient that made a legendary, unforgettable movie. And so you may not like that character.
I like the character. I didn't like her acting of the character. Just like I did not like Mark Hamill's acting of Luke Skywalker. I don't like those whiny ass characters, but she really didn't. She really go back and watch Labyrinth now and just watch her acting, and you're just like, ooh.
Oh, let's
look what Do Good says. I've got your answer, Do Good. Do Good says, "Good morning, gentlemen. So if Dave is James Bond, JJ is M, but who's Deke? Do Good, I am that first guy that I'm the red shirt. I'm that guy that wants to go and help and always gets killed first. That's me every time."
Let's watch the door scene for just a second.
Okay. All right.
Hold on. I got to get past this commercial.
I've had it explained to me many times. And it makes sense, but it like I said, it's never clicked.
You're not joking, are you? It's so obvious to me. I can't believe it. Like once it's pointed out, it's like, oh, of course. But I can't. You're serious. Okay, hold on. We got to get. Here we go.
Someone has been changing my marks. What a horrible place this is. It's not fair.
That's right.
Not fair.
But that's only half of it.
This was a dead end a minute ago.
No, that's the dead end behind you.
It keeps changing. What am I supposed to do?
Well, the only way out of here is to try one of these doors.
One of them leads to the castle at the center of the labyrinth, and the other one leads to certain death.
Ooh.
Which one is which?
We can't tell you.
Why not?
We don't know.
But they do.
Oh, then I'll ask them.
No, you can't ask us. You can only ask one of us. It's in the rules. And I should warn you that one of us always tells the truth and one of us always lies.
So pause.
He
Hold on.
always lies.
Okay.
I do not.
Okay.
So right then you got
Yeah,
the rules
that's a good point.
split
Okay.
from both of them. All right. So one
Oh,
of
so-
them
oh.
obviously lying about what they said the rules were right then.
Right.
Okay. And now they're saying one of us always tells the truth.
No,
and
you
one of
got
us
a
always
point.
lies.
I want to catch that because I never listened to the. I mean, I always listen to the rules, but I never attributed who gave the rules.
Right.
Right. Okay. So
One of us always lies. That's a rule too. He always
do that.
lies.
I do not. I tell the truth.
Oh, what a lie.
He's the liar.
All right. Answer yes or no. Would he tell me that this door leads to the castle?
What do you think? Really, I don't know. Yes?
Then the other door leads to the castle and this door leads to certain death.
Oh. How do you know? He could be telling the truth.
But then you wouldn't be. So if you told me that he said yes, I know the answer is no.
But I could be telling the truth.
But then he would be lying. So if you told me that he said yes, I know the answer would still be no.
Wait a minute. Is that right? I don't know. I've never understood it.
No, it's right. I figured it out. I can never do it before. I think I'm getting smarter.
So
It's a piece of cake.
what immediately happens? She falls to certain doom. She picked the wrong
Right.
door.
yeah. Right. So
So she was wrong. She gets dropped into a cell underneath the earth.
okay. Okay.
But I
She-
guess
she
right
was-
here, the hands say, do you want to go up or go down?
That's
And then
true.
she's
She
like
gets another
a
choice.
dumb kid and says, well, I guess I'm already going down. What?
I'll
And
go back up,
don't,
please.
I'm not criticizing this anyway. This movie is very cherished to me, and my dream job for 20 years has been to work for the Jim Henson Company. I would always wanted to be a puppeteer, to the point that I practiced doing the puppeteer. I've made a couple of puppets, and I've practiced. You don't do this to do a puppet. You do this. You move the bottom. I mean, I love this crap. So don't
Yeah.
think I'm criticizing.
This is. I can't click that.
That crap was
this
hard for me to do.
I remember Labyrinth. There was a theater called Lowe's. Was it called Lowe's at the time? I think it was called Lowe's Theater, and it was at like I-10 and 287. And by today's standards, it would be like a rinky-dink, like, oh my god, I can't believe we're even going here. But at the time, it was like, that's the theater. I'm gonna go to the movies. I remember being like 6 or 7 years old. I don't remember when this movie came out. And I saw this in the theater. And I remember leaving just so happy because it would probably it was the fart swamp. It was just so funny. But then it's just like all the puppets all together were just like, it was cool that some of them I didn't like, but some of them were just so fascinating.
The fire creatures where she goes and they take off their heads and their legs.
Yeah, that was a little
that
weird.
always freaked me out as a child
Yeah.
because of the music that was in it and what
Yeah.
they were doing. It always freaked me out. But you're right. The characters are great. Even the secondary characters were the best ones.
Right.
Bluto and the little Sir, what's his
Yeah.
name that rode the
And,
dog?
oh my gosh. And
He was the
there were-
greatest.
and like I can't remember all of the plot right now, but there's isn't there a sort of a part where like the troll that you kind of like the troll, but then he betrays her and you feel sorry
what's
for
it?
him.
Hoggle.
He gives her that little fruit or whatever. It's supposed
Yeah.
to make her fall asleep. And
Well,
there's
Hoggle was being bullied and controlled by
the
Zareth.
Goblin King. Yeah. And there was the lady, the hoarding lady that put everything on her back and
That was so great. Yeah, that was a great scene.
it's such rich imaginative imagery.
Any
It's such a
Gen
great movie.
Xer, you could say, dance magic dance, and everyone slap that baby, make him scream. Oh man, that was I love that song. We watched that. The kids have seen that many times because Ashley and I were like, these are fundamental movies that you must watch. I just told Alex the other day, I was like, when you get time, I want to watch Tombstone with you, please. You need to watch that movie. That's an essential movie in our household.
I feel like we should have like a movie club where we watch like movies, but I don't even know how we would do that. But like, like somebody mentioned a movie this morning that I saw in the theater, and I'm just like, man, that would be a fun movie to revisit. Have you ever seen Departed? The Departed? It's a Martin Scorsese film.
I don't remember. If I did, it was one time.
It's got Jack Nicholson in it and
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. It's a fantastic movie.
This was during my 2006, between like 2003 and 2020. I really didn't watch a lot of
I
watched a lot of cartoons and kid shows. So
this one tells
you could watch it again because you love it, and I've never seen it.
That wouldn't that be neat to like? But I don't know how we would do
Damon,
that.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Marky Mark,
wild,
Martin Sheen. Yeah. It's got Alec Baldwin in it.
So I can't tell in this particular moment whether I'm imagining something or whether I'm remembering something. But one tells the truth, one lies door scene in Labyrinth. Obviously, we remember this. But I feel like I've seen a parody of this, where like it was a cartoon or a parody or maybe a YouTube short type video where you have the person on the quest and you have the two, one tells the truth, one lies doors. And then I feel like the doors were bullied by either like the quest person asks the question and like, is he going to tell the truth or lie or whatever? And then they give an answer and then he just kills one of them. And then the other door is like, whoa, hold on. Whoa.
I would like to see that. I don't know what you're talking about though. That's great.
Maybe it seems let me see if, oh wait. No, it's not that. Maybe it's like a Rick and Morty type thing.
Welcome to the show this morning, everybody.
Yeah, sorry. Good morning. Hey, I got my garage door open. It's nice, and it was like 66 degrees outside, so it's cooler outside than running my AC in the garage this morning.
It was 49 in Western Kentucky this morning. In centigrade, I don't know what that is.
Oh my God! I think I found what I was remembering. Let me get this video to load because this video may be inappropriate for some viewers. So if you are offended by material,
you don't have to worry about nobody's watching.
Put on your earmuffs. This video may be inappropriate for some users. I understand, and I wish to proceed, but you may not want to proceed. And do not take your video screen down because you're covering the title, which gives the clue away, or gives the joke away. So don't do that.
Okay.
Here we go.
Unidentified adventurers.
We are the guardians of this sanctuary. One of us tells only truths, the other only lies.
You ever fuck this guy's wife?
Yes. Well, how about that? He guessed right.
I forgive you.
Oh, shit. All right, next room. No, I want to watch.
Oh my God.
How much could you save?
So funny. Rick and Morty for the win. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. What?
Oh my Lord.
He immediately answered and he was like, oh my God. Okay. All right. So what's up? How's your weekend?
Pretty good. I got to hang out with some buddies that I haven't seen in a while. I haven't got to hang out with a while. They were my really close friends back in the day. So we get to hang out and drink some coffee and just chit chat and whatnot. And Got to meet some family members of Ashley's family I've never met before. So it's pretty good. It's kind of a boring weekend.
Unlike me and many of the rest of the world, you probably have like very normal extended family. Like I am in a weird situation where I have very weird family on both sides. So, but you probably have no weirdness, and it's
are you kidding?
Totally normal.
You kidding? Let me tell you how I explained it one time, and I won't go into details or anything, but Ashley's side of the family is really awesome to be around, to watch all of them, because some of them live in Texas and some of them live here. And when they get together, it's just like, it's really cool because it's like nothing has changed. You would think that they saw each other every single day, Right. And it's very loving. You can just feel it. And I'm not saying that doesn't come from my side of the family, but my mom had 11 brothers and sisters. Do you know how many freaking cousins I have? Do you know how many first cousins I have? It's like 23 or something like that. And I was telling Ashley, I really like your family, blah, 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 one day. And she was like, well, you got a huge family. You got a bigger family than mine. I was like, no, I have a lot of relatives. I don't have family. I have a very small family. But I have a lot of relatives, because when we get together, it's like, hey, how was the job? How's the
What was your name again?
Yeah. It's the same that I would be talking to a guy in line at Walmart, Right. There's a couple that I'm closer with, but you're not all, you're just kind of like, hey, cute kids. They look just
you
like
got to meet some family for the first time, make some brand new friends.
Yeah, from Arizona. So it was cool.
It was cool for them. Who wants to live in a desert? I never understood why anybody lives in Arizona.
We talked about that, about the humidity here in Kentucky can get up to jungle humidity. You walk outside for 2 minutes and you're like, oh my God, I'm dying. So then he was talking about, I played golf in 110. I'm like, yeah, okay.
It seems wrong that some places on the earth are as humid as your ball sack. Just walking around and like,
it's terrible. And he was talking about how he was like, it's beautiful here. He was like, it's absolutely beautiful here. All the green everywhere. He was like, out there, you see browns. It's just nothing but brown. And I was like, oh yeah, I've never been out there. So I've only seen pictures. So
can you imagine living in a suburb and instead of a grass lawn, you have rocks? Because that's what you can do.
I guess Ashley and I did go to Las Vegas, so I got to look out the window and see it, but we were in Las Vegas. We were in the middle of the Mandalay Bay walking around for 2 days. So yeah. And I remember asking the cab driver or whoever, because there was very little grass out there.
No grass.
Right.
Are you making some sort of like an innuendo type thing?
No, actually, when we were out there, Las Vegas had just passed the marijuana law and it hadn't gone into effect yet. And we were like, oh, okay.
So a few minutes ago, you said a magic word and it made me, it put me off on a side rail. So
I know I can tell when I do that sometimes because you shut up and you start autism focusing on something else. My voice starts going.
So do you know what the definition of the word jingoist is? I've heard the word before and I've used it and kind of had context, like I don't know what it was, but I never looked it up. Well, this weekend I looked it up.
Say the word again.
Jingoist.
No,
Jingoist.
No, I don't.
Or jingoism.
I couldn't even pick out the root words. And, I couldn't even make an educated guess on that one. Jengaism is probably somebody that studies Jenga
right. So the definition of jingoist. Let me tell you why I think about it, because you said Texas, and I was like, oh yeah, Texas. Jesus. And many years ago, I read there was like 20 years ago, Mark Miller wrote a comic book called Ultimates, It was a like 13-part series, Ultimates, and they had Ultimates too. And in that version of the Ultimates, Captain America was a jingoist. It was actually described as a jingoist, which is extreme patriotism, especially in the form of aggressive or warlike foreign policy. So
I've read that twice, and I don't remember Captain. What was his major arc?
Do you remember this? The scene at the end of that? If you read that, the A on my forehead doesn't stand for France.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
He was Captain America and F the rest of you all together.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat you down. So this jingoism, like that
I didn't know that's what that.
Well, yeah. So he was described as a jingoist a-hole, like that version of Captain America. And I was like, okay, I always kind of is like super patriotic. It's basically like a violent America first, or whatever your country is first, because it's agnostic to whatever country you're patriotic to. But jingoist, it's also defined as like an excessive bias in judging one's own country as superior to others. And I started thinking, I think I might be a Texas jingoist, and I wouldn't be surprised if
you're like that. All the rest of us that don't live in Texas, let me tell you how we look at you. Those people love their state so much. They're crazy. but we kind of admire it a little bit that you love Texas so much. But let me tell you, I love Kentucky.
I'm sure you do.
I think Texas, sure I ain't got no qualms with Texas, and I'm sure it's great. But Kentucky is the greatest in my personal opinion, Kentucky is the greatest place where I live in the entire world.
And you should think that.
Other than the damn tornadoes and the fact that we're sitting on one of the largest fault lines in the world.
Right. And you have to walk
Other than that,
there sometimes.
What? Oh yeah, sometimes you got to shorn the scrotum so you won't stick together. I guess that's wrong. I guess if you shorn it would stick. Gross.
Anyway, yeah. So I was wondering, like, if there's a less violent form of the word jingoist. Like I didn't know. Like, how do you find a different word that's very similar, but it's just not as like warlike, because they're like, oh, it's aggressive warlike foreign policy. Because like, I don't want to go to war with anybody. I just think that we're superior to everybody else. It's just the best place to go.
So speaking of the greatest state in the greatest place in the whole entire world, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Did you bet on the Kentucky Derby over the weekend?
No, I don't gamble. That's a great way to just give away your money.
I'd say, I look at it. They would always ask me, do you want to do the NCAA bracket? And I told that girl one day, after about 3 years of her asking me, I was like, look, if I wanted to throw away $5, there's a garbage can right there beside me. I can just wad it up and throw that $5 bill right in it. I don't have to worry about all this mess that y'all got going on for a month.
I don't do gambling.
I don't either. I've never. It's fun, but if we played, if everybody wanted to get together and play penny poker, I'd be all for that. Absolutely, all night long.
Yeah, but that's just entertainment. That's just like,
it's just fun. Yeah, I'm not in it to try to. So I thought it was interesting that every horse that raced this year was a descendant of Secretariat. But
oh, really?
I mean, if you know anything about genealogy, Genghis Khan supposedly has millions of descendants alive today. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of horses that are descendants of Secretariat. But I guess Sovereignty won, and I don't know. But I wanted to show you some pictures of beautiful folks from the Kentucky Derby.
Wow.
So that is our stupid governor, Andy Beshear.
Yeah.
There's our stupid governor again, Andy Beshear. Once again, there's our dumbass-faced governor, Andy Beshear. And let's wrap it up with a bunch of brainwashed college girls and our dumbass governor, Andy Beshear. The reason I want to show you his face is because I honestly believe he's going to be right up there with old Jazzy Poo for the Democratic nominations. They don't got anybody. They don't have anybody.
Yeah, it's not good for the Democrats right now. It's not great, but you know they do have Trump hate, and they thrive on Trump hate. I don't know what they're gonna do whenever there's no Trump to hate. They try to replace him with like Elon hate, and it doesn't really stick. Like, doesn't really stick. And they try to replace it with like Vance hate, and like, oh, we're just gonna make fun of Vance. Well, the conservatives and the right or whatever, we started sticking Vance's face on everything, making him like a big old baby and everything, and we just roll with it. It's like funny.
Let me tell you, people like him. People love Trump, but people love JD.
He's very if you start listening, you're like, oh, okay.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I was initially going to say people like JD more than Trump. And I would honestly almost say that because you've got some of those people that just don't like Trump for one reason or another that like JD.
They've been told to not like Trump. That's the program.
That's exactly
they downloaded
right.
the program.
That's exactly right.
Is there any interesting news happening right now? Let me tell you how I know, like last week, there was no interesting news because Tim Pool has video segments 4 times a day. And when some of those video segments are like UFOs, it's like, there's nothing happening. If he's covering garbage like this, then like, there's just nothing happening. And there was a video like that in his feed last week. And I was like, okay, we're good. The world's not on fire.
You went from calling people brainwashed to being brainwashed. That was amazing transition that you just did right there.
I mean, I've been working. I'm just grazing the highlights, but that's my metric of like.
I don't know how many more. I mean, what would it take for you to believe in aliens? For one to land in your yard and knock on your door and ask for a cup of sugar? Would you believe in aliens? No, you wouldn't, because then you'd be like, all right, y'all have got some holographic things, and that's a really good suit there, Stan Winston. And I mean, there's literally been like a lot of different governments that have come out and said that, yes, we know that there's these beings and we don't know what they are and we don't know what these things are. And
do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Do you believe that people have been kidnapped by aliens and like inspected?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Not unreasonable. I mean, it's like one of the stories out there. a lot of people have testified.
But I also believe that our government has done the same thing.
Perhaps. So a lot of people, independent of one another, have come forward with a similar story, right? I was asleep. I woke up somewhere. I was, molested or whatever.
That's one of the common stories.
Right. And it's like, wow, it's so compelling that so many people that I've never met have such a similar story.
But
and then
I know where you're going, and I don't disagree, I don't disagree with you.
You don't know where I'm going.
On a certain point.
In 2018, this Texas man confessed to kidnapping 79 people while disguised as an alien.
I saw this story this morning. And I honestly, when I saw the picture of the dude, I was like,
I would have believed he's an alien too.
He really didn't have to do much to disguise himself as an alien.
Honestly, just put on some sunglasses and it's like, that is not a person.
I thought it was AI at first. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, that's an AI picture. And then I was like,
no, JJ, don't bring it up.
That dude can hear next week.
Oh. Yeah. Arnold White admitted to he had kidnapped and sexually assaulted 79 people while disguised as an alien. This is terrible. I'm so sorry for these people.
I know. I feel terrible. Okay, first of all, I feel terrible laughing at the misfortune of others, but St. Peter's already got several things he's going to talk to me about before he lets me in, and this is just going to be added to the list. Okay, I'm sorry.
So for me, it's much more believable that a psycho would put on a costume and randomly abduct and abuse people than it is to believe that actual aliens exist.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that at all. As someone who believes in that stuff, I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
You have to wait for that story to fade away, and you can go back to believing the
that's a great one, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for laughing at that. That's terrible for those people. But
I know. I apologize. Here,
man.
how about a boot?
Oh, no. Oh,
yeah,
you
sorry.
suck.
Very, very sorry. Oh. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Why were we talking about aliens? I forgot.
I don't remember why we went on to that. Because my brain started chasing the rabbit. I was like, oh, I'm going to irritate JJ with this one.
I'm so glad you brought it up, though, because I was like, oh, this is it. Because I was like, earlier this weekend, I was like, oh, I have to show this to D. This is hilarious. Let's see. Man,
there really hasn't been. I mean, there was the did you see the clip that was going around of Michelle Obama complaining about how hard it was to live in the White House and that she had to actually pay for her own food? I mean, the staff and the housing was paid for, but they had to pay for their own food. Did you see that clip? Oh,
no, I didn't see that.
Big Mike's.
I gotta say, if Michelle Obama comes up in anywhere in a feed, I'm just scrolling right past it because I don't want to hear a story about Mike's a dude. I don't want to see it. I don't care.
But it kept coming up so much that
right.
one of the little taglines finally caught my attention. I wonder if it's gonna.
War all over the place.
Okay,
China. Trump wants a deal with China, of course.
Here you go.
What do you got? Oh, sorry.
Meet Mark.
How is that still there?
I don't know. All right, here's Big Mike.
Because it's expensive to live in the White House. As many people don't know. I mean, much is not covered.
You got the job.
For every bit of food that you eat, you're not paying for housing and the staff in it, but everything, even travel. If you're not traveling with the president, if your kids are coming on a Bright Star, which is the first lady's plane, we had to pay for their travel to be on the plane. It is an expensive proposition, and you're running for 2 years and not earning an income.
Yeah,
so
because
can you imagine, JJ?
We should just pick up the bill for all your expenses all the time.
Just real quick, and I want you and the millions of viewers that's watching right now just to imagine that your house and your staff for your house are paid for, but you, JJ, had to pay for you and your family's own food and travel. Can you imagine that your travel and your food is not paid for? Because we all have a huge house and staff and our food and travel and everything paid for.
Yeah, she's completely detached from normal. She should be grateful. Like, oh my God, I get to fly a plane wherever I want in the world as the first lady. What a blessing.
You know what? That is the modern day. And I don't know if anybody said this or not, because I'm going to say it right now. That's the modern day Marie Antoinette. Then let them eat cake. The people don't have bread to eat. Well, let them eat cake. Yeah. She was so stupid and clueless to what was going on at the time.
Lady. Yeah. Wow.
That she's this big.
Hey, let's talk about some other stuff. I took my kids to Free Comic Book Day. Should have reminded you. I went for the last time to the comic book store by my old office. It's my favorite comic book store. It's called Bedrock City Comics. It's their head office. I went to Free Comic Book Day. You probably haven't been to Free Comic Book Day in a long time. And they had such amazing
Free Comic Book Day because the free comic books were a piece of crap.
That's right. They are. They're not good.
They're terrible. They're huge advertisements, and it's just crap. Free Comic Book Day should be like, hey, here's some free comic books from our back issues. Nothing's expensive, but
Well, I mean, they are promotional. They're promotional item for the, you know, the what do you call it? Distributors, publishers. That's Bedrock City Comic Company, and that's my favorite store to go to because they do have great back issue bins. They've got all the new comics, you know, like out there. They've got a bunch of other like pop figures and a bunch of stuff that I could not care about at all. A bunch of this stuff in display. It looks neat, and I don't know who buys this. I don't know who buys statues. You're just looking at statues. Where are you gonna put statues in your house? I know, but
yeah, no, we've had this conversation. Yeah, the other day. Statues are great, but
like it's like I would love to have the glass case and be like, oh, that looks really cool.
Yeah,
I ain't putting that in my house.
No,
my wife would. First, I don't even want. I don't. There's not one statue that I'd be like, I want to look at that every single day. No, I don't. I don't want to look at that every day.
No, I don't.
But I mean, there's a market for this stuff for somebody. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I took my kids to Free Comic Book Day. They had some all ages books, picked them up, crossed my fingers that there wasn't gay stuff all over. And, you know,
how'd that go?
My kids a couple books. So far, so far, so good. I'm not sure. And so not only was this weekend Free Comic Book Day, it was also May the 4th, which is, you know, Star Wars Day.
Star Wars Day.
So, are you into any of the Star Wars stuff that's happening right now? I know you don't have Disney, but
like what?
You know, you liked the first season of Andor, and maybe you know this, maybe you don't. The second season of Andor is currently on streaming. So,
okay.
So if you liked that. Maybe
I started to try to watch the Skeleton Crew, and something distracted me.
Arr, space.
Well, I thought it might be cool.
It's actually not bad.
I'm looking forward to the Maul thing just because I really enjoy that storyline that started in the Clone Wars and with Ahsoka, and even the final battle, Maul's final battle with Obi-Wan Kenobi was just a beautiful piece of freaking art.
I saw a short video this morning when I woke up about somebody making the argument that the Clone Wars, the whole thing, makes the scene in
I watched that
Revenge of the Sith.
No, when Anakin is denied his master role on the council, and
we're not going to make him master.
In the movie, when you watch it, it sounds like he's whining. Like, why? You know, and he gets mad. But if you go back and if you watch the Clone Wars, he has already like saved almost every single one of those people, those masters sitting on the council. He saves like 5 or 6 of their lives. He has led armies. You know, he was a general. He's led armies. He was one of the most decorated freaking generals and Jedi out there in the Clone Wars, and then they go in and they're like, no, we're not going to make you master. And it makes that scene sound a whole lot more because they all know how great of a Jedi he is. They're on par with them.
So isn't that retconning? Because
yes,
those 3 movies came out, the prequel trilogy. And then after that was the cartoon, right? So they went and backfilled the moment with that cartoon.
And I'm fine with that because, on Revenge of the Sith, when he's got that scar down his face.
Yeah.
They never tell you where that scar's from in the movie. Never. He's just got the scar. And I think George Lucas even said something like, oh, we just added it to add more charisma and to give him a little bit more of a, an evil type of leaning towards. And so they went back in the comic books and wrote how he got that scar afterwards. And it was he was sent somewhere, and Aja Ventress had come in. Do you know who she is? She was Count Dooku,
right?
Yeah, she was Count Dooku's apprentice. She was a former witch of Dathomir that had force powers, but she became his Jedi assassin. And in that battle with Anakin, she tips him with the tip of her lightsaber right here. And he goes batshit crazy. Yeah.
So if you had like force powers, why wouldn't like the first thing you do be use your force power to turn off their lightsaber? Just flip the switch. You know what I mean? I just don't understand why.
Hang on a second.
Do good. Did we watch Rogue One? Rogue One is probably one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I think that's a great movie. It's great. It's contained and disposable, and like, you know, it tells the prologue for A New Hope, but you know, yeah, it's a great movie. It's really good, but I could not sit through even like one episode of Andor and pay any attention to it. In fact, it wasn't until like last week that I realized that Andor wasn't the name of the planet. It was the name of the guy. I was like, I thought that was a planet that blew up. Well, it turns out that's his name too.
That's Alderaan.
Oh, is it Alderaan? So what the hell's Andor? What's Andor? Is that just his name?
I guess. I hadn't watched it, or I watched it a long time ago. I don't remember it.
I don't know. I honestly thought it was like, I thought that was the name of a planet, Andor.
Yeah, Rogue One was great. Rogue One was one of those movies that the reason I loved it is because it didn't have space knights in it. It was a story.
Really good.
It was one of those that they died. The end. They did what did, and that's it. I love that. It was so unconventional, but it told the story, and it was great.
I want to push back on the no space knights, but I know what you mean. You mean there's no Jedi.
That's what I mean. Take out the Jedi and take out the Force, and take out. There's other stuff going on in the galaxy that don't have anything to do, that might have a little bit to do with the Empire because they got a foothold in everything, and you might hear rumblings of the rebels, but you don't see a space knight with a laser sword, and you don't have magic. There's other stories to be told that are very interesting, and Rogue One is proof. Everyone loves that movie. And that might not be the reason. I think a contributing factor to the reason is that it bridged the story. You know, it told how Leia got the thing.
Come on. That's a space knight, right?
Dude, no, Saw Gerrera was a pirate. Saw Gerrera is he's even got a stick. He's your anti-hero. He's the guy that you hate, and then the guy that you like. And then you hate him again and you like him again. He was very prevalent, and his group was very prevalent in Clone Wars too, and the cartoons and stuff.
Okay.
But see, there's a lot of stories in the Clone Wars that don't have Jedi and the Force powers in them that I always thought was really good. And some of them have to do with like pirating stuff, you know, with some of those pirates on Tatooine going to other places, and some of his stories and stuff. And it's really interesting because it bridges what they're doing to help the rebels and do whatnot. But
if you have not watched Rogue One, yes, watch Rogue One before you cancel.
Yeah, I'm sorry that if you hadn't watched it, Do Good, I'm sorry that I said that about what happened at the end of the movie. I didn't. I thought you'd already seen it, but it's wonderful. Where Rogue One ends is where you can literally stop Rogue One before the credits and start Episode 4 from 1977, and it's almost seamless.
Right. I think the Leia scene is a little bit like it's they're like re-aliving, or you know, youthifying, or whatever de-aging. They call it de-aging. The de-aging of Princess Leia to, you know, make her fit in that scene. It's a little what's that word? Uncanny Valley. I don't like it.
Oh, yes. What's her daughter's name? What's Carrie Fisher's daughter's name?
Don't know.
I just saw it. Billy Lord. Hang on, let me look up.
Oh, didn't she play her? She played Leia, and then they put her face on it, or did the voice maybe?
Yeah, but she played she played one of the characters in the last movie that Leia was in, that Carrie Fisher was in. She was one of her people in the background, had her old hairdo. This right here, I hate to click on People magazine. I'm not clicking on People. I'd rather click on Yahoo News UK. No, let's click on People because Yahoo's making me sign some papers.
4, 5, and 6 in a Blu-ray box. 4, 5, and
This
6. That's New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, which is the best Star Wars movie.
this was posted by her yesterday on Star Wars Day. And that's her son and daughter watching their grandma on in Return of the Jedi there.
that is cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. Watching Green.
And one day, you know, your grandkids will watch reruns of this show on
You know why
Rumble.com.
she didn't proceed as an actress? You know what she ended up doing in Hollywood?
No.
She was a very prominent screenwriter.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. She was a screenwriter for a lot of movies.
You talking about
Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher? Yeah. Oh yeah. She was a script doctor. She would fix scripts.
That's what I mean. Not screenwriter.
Doctor.
She was the script doctor
Yeah.
for a lot of them.
A lot of movies. All right, we're gonna have to tell jokes because I got a conference call in a few minutes, and also there is something that I need to attend to inside.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
I gotta pee. I gotta go pee.
You got to give me a minute. I forgot about jokes.
Yeah. Let's see. What do we got? That's not good. So you had a good weekend. That's good. I've been doing this, Deke. Hold on. Look here. I've been doing this. That's my work now. Right there. Bunch of this over here. So I haven't switched over to the fiber yet for this, but fiber's hooked up. We'll see if it's any better.
All right, you got a joke?
You know why secret agents don't play cards? Do you know why
No.
secret agent? It doesn't make sense. I don't know why. Why don't secret agents play cards? Because of the cheetahs? Doesn't make sense. That does not count.
Okay.
It does not count.
I'll
This
give you,
one page is, I'm leaving that.
I need to
right.
show you some dad jokes. All right. Since for Star Wars Day was yesterday, what do you call someone turned on by bubble tea?
What do you mean turned on? I don't know. What do you call somebody that's turned on by bubble tea?
A Boba Fett-ish-ist.
Oh. Oh no! Yeah. Why don't scientists trust atoms?
Because they make up everything, JJ.
They do. That's true. Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter lose her neck.